What up? What up? What's the word, people? Welcome back to another episode from What's the Word Entertainment. Of course, I'm your host, Sherm, and I'm again joined by my esteemed co-host and like a guy at like an STD on spring break, he just won't go away. My boy Obed, what's going on with you, man?
You know me, Sherm. I'm out here testing positive for greatness. I'm happy and thankful to be invited back because we're not going to act like Thanksgiving isn't before Christmas.
Yo, ain't that the truth? Because everyone else does in this world, right? Today, we're actually joined by two guest hosts this week for the first time. First, let me throw it over to my boy Anu, who needs all the introduction in the world because, let's face it, nobody knows him. What's going on with you, man?
Hey guys, I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me on. I look forward to contributing to the show. Let's get rolling, man.
All right, cool. Appreciate it. And we are joined by another gentleman here who is actually driving at the moment, which is highly illegal, I'm sure. But we'll just ignore that part. My boy Chris, what's going on with you, dude?
Yo, what's up, guys? Hey, yeah, I'm live here from the Bellway traffic here. It's looking like a clear day. Roads are good. It's standard 55. We got a clear day here.
All right. Thanks for the traffic and weather update. I appreciate that. Anyway, so let's just get rolling here on this week's episode. So we're gonna cover a few different things coming from the NBA, some latest news and action around the NFL, and even some college sports as well too. But I wanted to actually start off with a different kind of topic this week. Just this past week, Marvel creator and comic book legend Stan Lee passed away at the age of 95 years old. I mean, obviously, everyone knows Stan Lee from creating all the Marvel guys, Spider-Man, Hulk, Iron Man. You know, he was always making cameos in all of the movies. I mean, this guy was obviously a legend in the comic book world. I'll go to you, Obed, first. I mean, did you have, let's say, a favorite comic or a favorite Marvel character at all?
I did, actually. So I was a huge fan of The Incredible Hulk, like, hands down. I always thought that the 1970s TV show was great. I loved all of the different iterations of it as well. I mean, She-Hulk, and there was, like, a spin-off where the Hulk was like a Las Vegas gangster one time. It was kind of but yeah, no, I've been a huge Incredible Hulk fan. I always love, the X-Men as well. So
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Let me go to you, Chris. What about you? Any favorites in the Marvel world?
I mean, like most other people, of course, your Wolverines of the world, all the X-Men, they're all amazing, But I'm really intrigued to see the newest creation that obviously Mr. Lee won't get to see fruition with Captain Marvel, where apparently she's the biggest badass in the whole Marvel universe. So I'm really intrigued about that. But yeah, great man, legend, way before his time. He's the best one-liner in any movies I've ever seen.
I like it. I like it. So Anu, let me go to you. And this, obviously when we talk about superheroes, this always begs the age-old question. If you had one superpower to choose from, just one superpower, what would it be and why?
Well, it's kind of ironic because it's not an actual superpower, but it's a superpower at the same time, which is my favorite is Iron Man. So it's not an actual superpower within him, but he actually ends up creating that superpower from a technology.
Yeah.
So that's something I would like to, actually analyze in real life as well. So I would definitely go.
So you'd like to be a billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, Iron Man. Okay. Okay. I got you. All right. You're reaching, but it's okay. I like it though. I like it. I mean, myself. Obviously, my favorite character was Wolverine. I mean, he was indestructible. I mean, obviously, the biggest character, the most badass, as Chris would say, was I would think was Phoenix, obviously also known as Jean Grey. When she turned into Phoenix, pretty much became indestructible. But Wolverine was definitely my favorite growing up, though. Well, moving on, I want to talk about college football just a little bit here. We're going to talk about the college football rankings, just the top 4 teams really quick. Obviously, we have Bama at number 1, who won their game easily yesterday against the Citadel. Clemson at number 2, Notre Dame at number 3, and Michigan at number 4. Now Alabama will be facing off against Auburn in the Iron Bowl next Saturday. Chris, who do you like in this matchup? Because even though Auburn is not ranked, this could be a scary matchup for them. Chris, are you there? All right. Oh, there you are.
And honestly, in the first half of that game, it was a bit of a challenge just for them to play sit it out to the left, now sit it out to the right. So all I know is in this game, if I was Nick Saban concerned, Tua Tagovailoa is still banged up. That knee is not 100%. Their defense has been suspect at times, especially their secondary. Honestly, I think it's going to be a lot closer game than you think, but Bama will probably pull it out by 10 or 14 points.
Gotcha. Obed, I guess looking at Clemson or even the Notre Dame against USC, which matchup kind of intrigues you more out of those?
Honestly, I think the Notre Dame matchup intrigues me a little bit more. I feel like Clemson will be able to handle their business, right? Like they've got a lot riding on it. I don't think they want to lose this one out this late in the season. Just maybe even from a pride standpoint, that even matters with the amount of money and blood, sweat, and tears people put into college football.
Right.
But I could see Notre Dame still winning this game, but maybe not looking as polished as they could.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, out of these kind of top 4 teams and matchups, which one do you like the best? Which one will you be paying attention to more?
I'll be paying attention more to Michigan at Ohio State. Both got great defense, but Ohio State almost lost to Maryland yesterday. So you know what? I'm gonna take my chances on Michigan.
Michigan, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a very good point. Yeah, Ohio State did almost lose to Maryland. That came down. I think that game went to overtime actually, so that was kind of surprising. But yeah, I mean, obviously Bama will take it out. I mean, it's pretty much Bama against the world at this point, but we'll wait to see what happens there. So moving right along, want to go into the NBA next. The big story this past week in the NBA was All-Star guard or forward Jimmy Butler being traded from the Timberwolves over to the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, they lost their first game actually against the Magic, but they won last night against the Charlotte Hornets. Butler actually hit the game-winning 3 with, I think, 0.3 seconds left on the clock. He only had 15 points, 3 and 4. Embiid contributed with 33 and 11. Simmons had 23, 11, and 9 with almost a triple-double. Now, Kemba Walker went off, actually. He had 60 points in the overtime loss. Now, with this, I want to steer back to Jimmy Butler just for a second. With this trade, the Sixers picking up Butler anew, do you think this really puts Philadelphia on the map to be one of the powerhouses in the Eastern Conference?
Absolutely. I thought they were fourth, but now I place them to be second, right after Raptors.
Really? Okay. You have the Raptors at 1 and then the Sixers at 2. Okay, I like it. Obed, I mean, now with Butler being there, do you think that this is kind of puts point guard Markelle Fultz in a position for like less playing time? Do you think this pickup will work for the Sixers at all?
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're gonna make it work, right? They're gonna tell us to just trust the process. But I think they're gonna look very good on defense. I think this gives them an opportunity to have a person who can flat out just score if need be, right? He can take over a game if that comes down to it. We've seen him do it in multiple teams, multiple spots. Mm-hmm. I mean, I wonder where this puts Simmons at. What is he going to be asked to do? He had a lot of production in that last game with 23, 11, and 9. If that kind of production is not there and you see more work out of Butler, can they manage, all the personalities and get out the gate just scoring? Flat out scoring, because the East is going to be about defense more so, right? We'll talk about Golden State coming up. I don't know if they're going to go back to their shooting ways, but Houston can shoot, Portland can shoot. All these teams can go out there and get it. I kind of want to see what the Sixers put together, but it's absolutely an exciting time for them.
Gotcha. Chris, I mean, going back to kind of a news comment where he had the Raptors at being the number 1 team of the East. This Jimmy Butler acquisition putting the Sixers at number 2. Do you agree with that? Do you think the Celtics are still in the mix there? Do you think the 76ers are moving past them now?
No, actually, to go with what Obed said, I think it's going to come down to 2 key factors. Luckily, they got Jimmy Butler early enough in the season. They can work on transitioning him into the lineup, find out his role, get that flow, that chemistry.
Right.
But to be honest, I think the biggest thing is Ben Simmons. That gentleman has still not developed a jump shot, which blows my mind. Someone with that much skill can't develop a shot. And be honest, the Celtics are finally hitting their stride. They're the team to beat the East, I think, over the Raptors. Yeah. So until, again, like I said, Simmons gets a jump shot and they figure out how Jimmy Butler works in with chemistry, I honestly don't see the Sixers going maybe higher than 4 seed.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'd probably agree with you there. I mean, I think the Celtics are still the team to beat in the Eastern Conference. They're loaded from top to bottom. I mean, the Raptors obviously right there. We're picking up Kawhi this offseason. I think the 76ers are on their way up, but they're not there just. I think they need another piece. Or like you said, I think Ben Simmons needs to develop more. But moving on, we want to talk about now, go to the Western Conference with the Warriors anew. I don't know if you saw, I'm sure you saw the altercation between Kevin Durant and Draymond Green, at the end of their game last week. Kind of stirred up some controversy in there. Do you think the Warriors have a problem? Is there beef amongst the organization?
I was thinking about it, a whole lot, and I was thinking, what happens if this was just a way to spice up? the season, something for the season, and get the second unit, the third unit, be able to face adversity.
Mhm.
Maybe this is kind of planned.
Right.
I know that's a long shot, but I think they'll be all right going forward. Really, I
Yeah.
think they can overcome anything. I think they've done a lot, and regardless, I think they're still when they're touch chip. But we'll see. We'll see what happens if Durant stays or not.
Right. And I believe because of the altercation, the Warriors actually suspended Draymond Green. Obed, let me ask you this: being that there's kind of some beef between some players and within the group, they actually lost last night to the Mavs, 112-109. No Draymond, no Steph Curry. He's still injured. Do you think Kevin Durant sticks around next season and resigns with the Warriors?
So, in this day of the NBA, I have no idea what goes on in a player's mind. Outside of a lot of Fortnite, I don't know if they really care to stay at that location or stay with that organization. He went there. He got championships. What is left for him, right? It's kind of that LeBron paradox of, well, I've done everything I could do here. We won.
Mm-hmm.
What's my next challenge? Does he look at the game like that? He had the chance to come home.
Yeah.
If he wants to come down to DC and hang out with the rest of the players at Rose Bar, go right ahead, right? Like, we can have a good old time. Him and Stephen A. Smith as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if he resigns. Honestly, like this, you would think that he's the kind of player that you could build your starting five around.
Yeah.
And kind of be able to feed them when maybe the guy who is the starter isn't there as often. I don't want to call Steph Curry injury prone. Everybody goes through their time in the NBA with dealing with injuries. But, if he's not there, do you start drawing up the plays to make Kevin Durant the guy and make Draymond understand he needs to take a back seat to this? I think the fact that Draymond was popping off at the mouth, that you came out your mouth with something that probably non-verbally you've been feeling in your emotions the entire time we've been together. So, I don't see him resigning, but that's just me.
Yeah, you know what? I actually will agree with you there, Obed. Yeah, Draymond definitely came out, popped off, and you started saying, I heard from a source, I think it was Stephen A. Smith said on the ESPN, like he came out and said, you know what, dude, if you don't want to be here, basically kick rocks, dude. He's like, we won without you, we can win without you again. It don't matter. I heard him, he was calling KD names and all that. But dude, Draymond, chill. It is Kevin Durant.
Right?
Okay, we're talking about Kevin Durant, probably the second best player in the NBA. So Draymond, slow your roll. Yes, you were there first. That was your team before. I get it, but it's Kevin Durant. You would want him on your team no matter what. So I think I think they will come together and settle the beef between them or whatever it is. But as far as re-signing Obed, you're right. With the NBA, you just really never know what these guys are going to do. So moving along, I want to talk about the Lakers next. They're still struggling. They're 8-7 on the year. They lost last night to the Magic, 130-117. LeBron had 22, 4 and 7. Lonzo Ball actually had 0 points. Was over 5 from the field. Chris, let me go to you. I know they signed Tyson Chandler about a week or so ago. Do you think the Lakers can right the ship and turn it around? I mean, what's their really biggest concern over their problem here? And I'm sorry, I think we're losing the video on you, Chris. So if you can't hear me, let me know.
No, I can hear you, Sherm. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I got you. We just lost video. It's okay.
Yeah, no, the biggest thing going on with the Lakers is they're just young. I mean, they're just extremely, extremely young. And you have a veteran in LeBron James coming on, and obviously LeBron can only do so much at this stage in his career.
Right.
So moving forward, it's just going to take time, and they need one more star. I'll take a Kevin Durant. Hey, Draymond, if you want to keep being Draymond, LeBron, bring him on over to LA, and you're going to have a new superpower in the West. That's my point of view.
All right. Yeah, I like it. Do you think the Lakers can really get it together and make a strong playoff push towards the end of the season?
Absolutely. Knowing LeBron James, what he's capable of, what he's done, I don't care if he's in the West. He's a superpower himself. So absolutely, I think he could make it happen. Even if they're the 8th seed, I think they could end up surprising. Whoever that is, even if it's the Warriors, at least a game 7. Doesn't matter what seed they go up in the first round. I think they could take it still like at least game 5, 6, or 7.
Got you. Yeah, and actually, I don't know if you guys noted that Rajon Rondo actually broke a bone in his right hand, so he's going to be out about 3 to 5 weeks. So that hurts them. Even though Lonzo Ball was getting the start for the Lakers, that's going to hurt them as far as depth-wise is concerned. So that's something they got to overcome. Also, this past week, the Houston Rockets actually was parting ways with Carmelo Anthony. I mean, Obed, where does Carmelo go from here? You know, his time in New York was tumultuous. You know, he left there. He went to Oklahoma City. Didn't really work out. He came to Houston. Honestly, I thought this would work. One, he played under D'Antoni in New York. He's great friends with CP3. Why didn't this work? Is Carmelo done in the NBA?
He's got that Des Bryant appeal, right? Like, we know the talent is there, we know the skill is there, just like we want that in the locker room. We want to have to deal with whatever that is. It's like, hey, we need you as to. I thought he was going to channel his inner Jason Terry and come off the bench and be sixth man of the year, right? But I guess that's not going to be the case. I don't know, man. There's a team out there that'll take him. I don't know if he's hey, he could go saddle up with LeBron. Right?
Yeah.
Nobody else wants you. I need guys who can play. And that was one thing that I think we touched on a couple episodes ago is when with LeBron there, does this become, hey, give the entire organizational calls to LeBron so he can build a team for you and then try to compete with everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you actually going to give your quality high draft pick lottery players a chance to play with him and learn something, get better, maybe lift them up, right? Like them getting that eighth seed would be great if they got there because they built up their youth. Would it be as great because they got there because they put together a Frankenstein's monster in the West and then went out there? So
right, yeah. Chris, let me go to you really quick. So I know we're struggling to get you on here, the video, but do you think Carmelo will find another team soon?
Absolutely. I mean, Carmelo Anthony's too good of a talent not to find a home. It's going to come down to what he wants to do, though, because his options will be limited at this point. I think he's got basically two options: Miami to go play with one of his best friends in Dwayne Wade, but they're not going to be a contender, or he go with his other best friend, LeBron James, and go out west, where they possibly, if they add another piece on top of that at the trade deadline, could compete maybe for something this year. So, Carmelo, what he wants to do.
Right. Do you think Melo has a lot left in the tank? Can he really contribute to a contender or make a team that's not a contender? What do you think here?
I don't think he could make a team a contender. I think he could just contribute maybe 8 to 10 points. Mm-hmm. I don't think he has much left in the tank, man. Seriously.
Yeah.
And, I think his options is limited as well. I have to go with Chris on that.
Gotcha. And it's funny how we mentioned that being about the tank, and we're going to transition a little bit from the NBA to the NFL. I want to actually talk about tanking. Sorry, I had to do it there, guys. But I mean, yeah, you see what I did there? I don't know if you guys saw that or not. So I want to talk about tanking in general. Basically losing on purpose. Is it good for any sport, whether it's the NBA, whether it's the NFL, NHL? Doesn't matter. Is it really good for any sport? And do fans want to see it anew? I'll go right back to you on this one. I mean, do you have an opinion either way? Are you in favor of it? Tell me.
Yeah, no, I definitely have a side on it. As a fan, definitely I don't want to see it because it's no fun. But as a system, as a business, I totally get that. Why they do that. Although I don't particularly like that model, but it's understandable on a business aspect. But as a fan, definitely not. I would never want to take myself. Right.
Obed, should bad teams lose on purpose?
Yeah, so recently we saw the Oakland Raiders play the San Francisco 49ers and Nick Mullins, the Nick Mullins Ole Miss party, right? They had him on the phone with Brett Favre at the postgame show. I'm pretty sure that the Niners lost that game in winning because your season isn't going anywhere. So you might as well start jockeying for the best draft slot that you can. Now, when you talk about tanking, you're talking about, in our regular person's world, Chapter 11 bankruptcy, right? We're not actually bankrupt. We just got to take a slight right now, and then we're going to be back out here balling. Right?
I feel you.
Right. So, you look at the Colts suck for luck, which nobody said that's what happened, but a team that goes 11-5 the year before with a Hall of Fame quarterback, 1-15 with a nobody, and then 11-5 with a rookie quarterback. There's got to be something in the tank there, right?
Yeah.
So I get it. I think I think maybe it would be more acceptable and understandable if you looked at the way the NBA's done it and been okay with it. Everybody has like a lottery of picks.
Right.
The NFL should transition to that. We need to stop sending the best players in collegiate athletics to the worst teams that the NFL has with just idiot buffoonery behind the helm. Like, get off the sticks, dog. What are you doing right now?
I feel you.
You know, Condoleezza Rice. We'll get to that.
Yeah. We'll get to that when we get to the NFL. Chris, really quick, Chris. Do you like tanking? Do you, I mean, not like say like it. Are you in favor of teams doing it to to get better themselves in position in the future?
I never understood the whole concept of tanking because the last time I checked, it's not every single person on that roster getting a check to play in the game. I mean, have a little pride. You know what I mean? Have a little pride in yourself as a professional and go out and win. Who cares what the organization wants? Who cares what is in their best interest? Because guess what? They're not looking out for your best interest as a player. So if I'm a player, go out and do your job.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. I mean, like I said, I understand it from a scheming standpoint, but I don't agree with it. You know what I mean? You know, they're purposely putting players on the field to lose on purpose. Not really a good look. But with that being said, let's go into the NFL really quick. And we're going to talk about just a couple topics, and we're going to get right into picking this week's games. I just want to try to minimize our time here. Obed, you mentioned it just a few minutes ago. Let's talk about the Cleveland Browns. They fired their head coach, Hugh Jackson. They fired their offensive coordinator, Todd Haley. Just this morning, I was reading an article, courtesy of ESPN, that the Browns general manager, Mr. Dorsey, is looking to hire not only a female head coach, but looking at Condoleezza Rice as a possible candidate for that head coaching position. I mean, I know she's a lifelong Browns fan, but does that give her the automatic bump into becoming a head coach? Because if that's the case, I've been a football fan my entire life. Let me coach some team right now, dude. I mean, come on, yo, dude. Like, put me on the phone. I got you. You want to pay me? You don't know how to pay me $5 million. Pay me $500,000 a year. I'm in there like swimwear, dude. I mean, come on.
I'll take a pay cut.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What are you getting for that pay cut, though, right?
Yeah.
You guys aren't trying to pay somebody $7 million a year, some scrub.
Yeah.
You don't pay Sherman $500,000. I got you.
Yo, all day, son. I mean, do you think this is legitimate?
This is fake news. This is the most fake news I've ever heard about stuff. Wait a minute, okay. You're telling me it took the NFL how long to have a female referee, and we're just going to go handpick somebody to go be our head coach. Wait, you have her in the locker room? Stop it. Stop your mind, dog. Wait, she's going to be out here getting these guys on the ground? No way, dog.
Yeah, I feel you. Chris, really quick, I mean, do you think this is legitimate? Trying to, not just, like I said, no problem being a woman, but just the fact that it's Condoleezza Rice, who has no coaching experience, to be all of a sudden the head coach in the NFL?
Well, Sherman, this is CNN creating fake news again, because that's what they do is create fake news, Sherman. Fake news. It is absolute insanity, and nothing against Condoleezza Rice. I think she's amazing at what she does as a profession.
Yes.
But, in regards to what you guys were saying, $500,000, I'll do it as an internship. Give me that thing. No, get out of here.
Yeah, dude, I don't get it, man. To somebody who has no coaching experience, all of a sudden to become a head coach on the NFL level, to me, that's just insane. Condoleezza Rice. Anu, what you saying, Anu?
Yeah, looking at their track record, it's like they're pretty much going the same route, so it doesn't matter what they end up doing. You know, they fire the coach, they pick her.
Facts. What's that, Anu? What's that, Obed?
They want to take the scenic route this time.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something wrong. Anyway, let's just talk about two things in the news real quick, then we'll get to picking games. The Saints signed 2 weeks ago the wide receiver, free agent Dez Bryant. Tore his Achilles. He's out for the year before he even played a game. They got Brandon Marshall. He's not playing today for them. Do you think this is a good asset for them, Obed, and help them out?
It depends on how they incorporate him. From what I saw, didn't look like there was enough in the tank.
Mm-hmm.
And if he was gone, if he went to the Seahawks to play the Jimmy Graham toss it up to me role, I didn't see enough there to think he's going to go out there and snag 6-7 touchdowns over the course of the next half of the season.
Yeah,
I see the desire to bring in a veteran player, but you might as well throw Traquan Smith out there. You know what I mean? There's no need to waste our time. We know we have in Brandon Marshall, but you don't know what you have in this young rookie. So.
Yeah. And Chris, the other thing I actually wanted to talk to you about was Le'Veon Bell. We know he didn't report by the deadline, so he's forfeiting his entire $14 million contract for the franchise tag. Really quick, Chris, what kind of value do you think he has next year after not playing this entire season?
I mean, he's a tremendous value. He's still a top 5 back in this league. But I think him sitting out 1 year to get those miles off the legs, is like he says, is kind of counterintuitive to what he's trying to do, because you're still going to get a year older. What he basically did is he guaranteed himself to get a long-term contract from somebody, but he's not going to be making that historic contract that he was trying to do for the players after him, as he said. He's not going to get it. So all he did was really hurt himself in this.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, guys. So I want to just get into now. Let's just go through the schedule for today's games around the NFL. Thursday night we had Green Bay at Seattle. Seattle came up with that victory. So let's just pick today's games. So first up, we got Dallas at Atlanta. I'm going to go Atlanta in this one. I think the Falcons offense needs to get going right now to make a playoff push. The Cowboys are the Cowboys. They're average. They'll continue to be average. I'm not really worried about them. Chris, Cowboys and Falcons, who do you got here?
Well, because I got Zeke in my fantasy, I'm going Cowboys all day, son. No, the Cowboys need a big bounce back win after that divisional loss last week, so I think they're going to pull it out today in a close one.
Gotcha. Anu, really quick, Cowboys and Falcons, who are you taking?
I got to go with Cowboys.
Cowboys? Okay. Obed, Cowboys and Falcons, who you got here?
I got to go with the Falcons. I think, being at home will be good for them for the fast track. The offense of the Cowboys now has legitimacy because they have a threat out there that you have to line up and not put 7 or 8 in the box. But I just feel like the Falcons, Matt Ryan's playing at a great level right now. Historically low interceptions for what he's done in the past. I think the Falcons can take this one.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Carolina at Detroit. Carolina coming off that tough loss to Pittsburgh. Obed, Carolina, Detroit, who you taking here?
Detroit is trash. At me, son. Come and get them.
Damn.
But yeah, I'm gonna take the Panthers in this one. They're not gonna have Marvin Jones Jr. on the side of the Lions. You could see this be a very dink and dunk game for them. If all you have is Babytron, Kenny Galladay, and what's his name, Theo Riddick.
Yeah.
Pass catching guys. I haven't seen a lot of them for their tight ends, so I got to go to the Panthers. McCaffrey's too nice for this.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris, Panthers and Lions, who are you taking here?
Panthers are going to blow this way open. I see a 10-point swing in this.
Yeah. Anu, really quick, Panthers and Lions, who do you got?
I go with Carolina, man.
Carolina, yeah, I think you're right. Cam Newton's having a great season this year. A divisional matchup with Tennessee at Indianapolis. Not a very intriguing game, but Tennessee's coming off that big win against the Patriots last week in Nashville. Chris, Titans and Colts, who do you got?
Andrew Luck's set to go off this week. I have the Colts winning this one by 5.
Gotcha. Obed, Titans and Colts, who you got here?
Man, I have the Colts, but it looks like what they've got Mariota running triple option out here. Like Patrick Mahomes, pitching things to the tight end underneath. So it'll be a barn burner. But these AFC South divisional games are just so weird, right? Like they can either be a low scoring affair or it can be a barn burner. I definitely see that this could be a high scoring game. I'll go with the Colts though.
Gotcha. And a new really quick Titans and Colts. Who are you picking here?
Got to go with the Colts, man.
Colts at home? You think so? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Next one is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the New York Football Giants. I knew you're a New York guy, so are you taking the Giants, or you think they're still struggling?
They're still struggling, but I got a rep, so I'm being a New York fan, so I'll definitely take the Giants.
Gotcha. Chris, Bucks and Giants. Who are you taking here?
Well, Fitzmagic will do everything he can, but I think the Giants came off an emotional win last week. They're riding a high. They're not going to go and win all the rest of their schedule like OBJ said, but, I think they're going to pull this out.
Gotcha. Obed, really quick, Bucks and Giants. Who are you taking here?
I want to preface this by saying that I can't imagine them having a really emotional win against whatever sorry team of 1-7 they beat last week. And Eli Manning, I don't care. It's still like a noodle arm. As much as a shout me out Patriots fan, I have to show respect to my competitors. Eli Manning has played with some great teams around him,
Mm-hmm.
and I cannot believe that I'm picking him in this game to win. But the Buccaneers, the only wrinkle in this game that could.
Obed, we lost you there. So, all right, he'll come back. All right, next one, we'll move on without Obed. I'm sure he'll be back here in a second. Houston at Washington. Chris, Houston is riding a 6-game winning streak. I mean, do you like Houston again in this one, or do you think Washington will take it?
Washington's really good at home this year. That defense is actually surprisingly better than I thought they were going to be. I think they pull this out in a squeaker by like 2 points, perhaps.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. I'm actually going to go with Washington as well because it's at home. Even though Deshaun Watson is playing great, I'm going to pick Washington for this one as a close game, maybe by 3. Pittsburgh at Jacksonville, rematch of last year's AFC divisional game. This is a very intriguing matchup with the Steelers and the Jaguars here. Anu, I guess let me go over you first. Do you like this game here? Is this game you'll be focusing on?
Actually, as a matter of fact, yeah, this is one of the games to look forward to. I mean, you got Steelers leading their division. They played great against Carolina last week, so I got to go with this one.
Gotcha. Okay. Chris, Steelers and Jags, who are you taking here?
Come on, baby. That's my Steelers, baby. That's what we're doing. No, Jacksonville's not nearly as good as we thought they were, and we let them off the hook. My inner Herm Edwards there. But no, Steelers, they're doing really well. James Conner, I'm hoping he's all right to play. Too good of a receiving core. Steelers are going to win this one. Actually, I think easily. I think about by 6 or 7.
Yeah. And by the way, that was your inner Dennis Green, if I believe. It was a good idea. You let him off the hook. Yeah.
Right.
So just to check it there.
And you let me off the hook.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. I'm going to go with the Steelers in this one. Even though it's in Jacksonville, the Jacksonville's defense has been struggling throughout the season. And there was a report this morning by ESPN that the Jaguars might look to trade Jalen Ramsey in the offseason, which is crazy to me. But, there's been some turmoil there, so we'll see how it happens there. Next one, Cincy at Baltimore. Really quick, Chris, what do you got? Bengals and Ravens.
This is a make or break a game for Marvin Lewis. Since he loses this game, I think he's actually out as the coach after this game. So for his sake, I hope they win.
Ooh, that's a very big bold prediction. A new Bengals and Ravens. Real quick, what do you got?
I like the underdog, man. I'm a big underdog guy. Although they're, them being away, I'm gonna go with Cincinnati. Got you.
I like it. Probably the least intriguing game of the week. The Oakland Raiders at the Arizona Cardinals. There may be about as many fans in that stadium as there is in a high school football game. So I'm going to go with the Raiders just because it's the Raiders. I mean, they just have a better quarterback in Derek Carr. I don't know what to say about the Raiders right now and the way John Gruden's running that team. Chris, Raiders and Cardinals, just give me a pick.
John Gruden is making Derek Carr look how Jeff Fisher made Jared Goff look.
Yeah.
Gosh, this is horrible. I'll say Arizona, but
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone really is going to be paying too much attention to this game. No offense to either team, but Anu, give me a pick. Raiders or the Cardinals?
Going with Oakland.
Oakland. Okay, cool. Denver at the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are on a roll this year. Phillip Rivers is having a stellar season. And I think, Chris, I might have said it to you before earlier this year. I feel so bad for Phillip Rivers because he's a future Hall of Fame quarterback, but he'll probably never get to, nor less win a Super Bowl. I'm going to go Chargers this one. Chris, Broncos and Chargers. Who do you got?
Phillip Rivers is going to have a big game. Chargers.
Yeah. Anu, quickly, Broncos at Chargers. Who are you taking here?
I'm going to jump on that Chargers.
Chargers, got you. A really good matchup of great quarterbacks, young versus old. Eagles and Saints. Saints, obviously, 8-1, having a stellar season. Breeze is having a great year. We got Alvin Kamara, potential MVP candidate. I'm going Saints all the way here in this one, but this is a big matchup for Philly. Chris, Eagles and Saints. Who you got?
This is the Eagles season tonight, Sherm. So, I mean, this is make or break for Doug Peterson. I think he's going to pull a rabbit out of the hat here and stun everyone, and they're going to pull this victory out.
Gotcha. Anu, Eagles and Saints. Who do you got? It's in New Orleans, so.
I hear you, man, but Philly got that prize, so let's go with Philly.
Philly. Oh, I like it. A divisional matchup, the Vikings and Bears. It's in Chicago. two great defenses. Kirk Cousins has been playing okay for the Vikings this season. Trubisky's been doing really, really very well this year. He's much improved from last season. Chris, Vikings and Bears in Chicago. Who are you taking here?
Chicago's got a stout defense at home this year, one of the best in the league. I'm going to take Chicago by 5.
Gotcha. Anu, Vikings and Bears. Who are you taking here?
Going with Bears, man.
Bears. It's funny. I was just gonna say Bears in here, but I'm gonna go the Vikings. I think this is a big game for them. They need to win, especially being a divisional game. So I'm gonna go Vikings. Last but not least, we're gonna come down to Monday Night Football with the Kansas City Chiefs against the Los Angeles Rams. This game was actually supposed to be played in Mexico City, but due to field conditions, they had to change it. So now it's being played in LA. Anu, let me go to you first. I know Kansas City they're riding behind Patrick Mahomes. Do you like the Chiefs in this one, or do you think the Rams, can come out with a victory? Who do you got, and why?
You read my mind on Patrick Mahomes, man. He's having a breakout season. I think this could be a Super Bowl preview. These teams are that great, but the Rams need to improve on defense. But you know what? For this game right now, I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Chiefs, okay. Chris, Chiefs at Rams, last game of the week. This is a big one. Do you think?
Oh, absolutely. It's interesting. I lived in Los Angeles for 2 years. There's not a huge fan base out there, believe it or not, for the home team Rams just as of yet. There's actually probably going to be as many Kansas City fans there as there will be LA Rams. So the home field advantage is not going to matter in this game. I do think Kansas City pulls this out in a tight one, high-scoring game. I'll say final score 35-32.
Wow, I like it. I'm going to say, man, I want to go with the Chiefs just because of Mahomes. But I'm going to say the Rams just because I do think they have a little bit of a better defense, even though it has been struggling. When you have the best defensive player in Aaron Donald on your team, you always have an advantage, I think. So I'm going to go Rams. I'm going to go Rams by 10, actually. Maybe 30-20 or 33-23 Rams. So anyway, that wraps it up for this week's guys. I appreciate you guys being here. Sorry we lost Obed there for a second. I think he forgot to pay his cable bill this week. No internet. It got cut off. It happens. That's what happens when these days and age. These millennials, they don't pay attention to their bills.
On a budget.
Ball on a budget. Exactly. I like it, man. But anyway, I appreciate you guys being here. Hopefully you guys will join us again for another episode here on What's the Word Entertainment. Guy, any last words from you and Anu? Nothing? All right, man, a few words. I like it. Chris, go to you real quick. Any last few words from you, Chris?
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me on. It was a lot of fun. Look forward to doing it again.
Thank you.
And not driving.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, don't be endangering other citizens, Chris, next time, all right? I appreciate you guys. Take care. See you guys.
Be good.
Peace.
Thanks.